What's up, gamers? Welcome to another episode of Get Your Game Sense Up. My name is Biles, your annoyed average gamer.
And I am Super Calmly GP. Let me ask you guys, what kind of zombies are you into? Are you into like the fast-moving zombies like World War Z, or the slow-moving zombies like Walking Dead?
And into this episode, we're going to be talking about everything that's been going on with Microsoft and its place in the console wars.
Yeah, guys, so it is currently mid-August, and we completely missed the Xbox showcase. I mean, we didn't miss it, but we didn't cover it. And there's been a lot of news that's come out in the Microsoft ecospace in the last couple of months. So we really wanted to just break it all down and really go over it. The first thing we definitely wanted to go over, again, is that showcase. Just talk about general thoughts, like, what did you think of the showcase, Bios?
I thought it was a pretty decent showcase. They had a lot of good titles and games that they were showing. It was also very well. I thought it was very well presented compared to the PlayStation event, because because compared to like what they did before, I forget what the other Xbox event that they had before PlayStation.
The Inside Xbox.
Oh, the Inside Xbox. That one was not that good, and I was talking about how, like, in comparison, PlayStation came off a little bit more like mature and like put together, like they know what they were doing really. And then now this past one, the Xbox did really brought it back, so it's like the same level for me. I was really happy with a lot of the titles that they showed, and yeah, it was a decent event. It was a decent one, I would say that.
Yeah, I did like the event as well quite a bit. They had a good variety of different games. The production value was much higher than the one of the Inside Xbox, where they're just like at home showing the trailers off. And of course, if you watch the event afterwards, or even the trailers again afterwards at the 4K glory that they're at, the games were great. Like, we got gameplays on a couple games and a lot of cinematic stuff. And one thing I was really happy to see was that a lot of those games were Series X exclusive. They wouldn't be coming to Xbox One because they're so far out. But yeah, so I was happy about it. In comparison to PlayStation, as much as I like the Xbox and as much as I'm an Xbox guy, I will say the only reason why the PlayStation event might have taken the advantage is because they showed off the PS5. Since we've already seen the Series X, we didn't have that, like, oh my god, I got the console. But if you were to take out the reveal of the console in the PS5 event, the games that showed off were fine. It was fine. There was a second PlayStation event I just passed, but literally nobody talked about it because it was just like PS4 stuff and some PS5 stuff.
I would agree there too. If Sony did not show the PS5, then I think it would have been about the same. And that's kind of been like a sad thing for Xbox. Like, they would try to do something, and then it would get like somewhat kind of hyped, but then it's easily forgettable. Not easily, but compared to what PlayStation would get, the energy's not the same, or it's not there. And I would also say that for this event, it is kind of unfortunate, because technically, in a way, it was a success, because in a sleeper kind of way, because Xbox announced that a lot of the games will be coming to the Xbox Game Pass, like you said. And that's a huge thing. Like, all of these $60 plus titles are going to be available on Game Pass for like $15 a month or whatever. And no one is talking about it. Like, no one has given that any sort of attention. Well, some people have, but it's not getting the recognition to the point where it should be something that everyone in the gaming community should be asking for or should be rooting for,
So the event showed up with, I think, about 23 games. And they said, not every single game was a $60 game or a AAA game, but all of those games will be playable day and date on Game Pass, which is fantastic. That means, like, we're going to get to the future of the console and the generation, the release date or whatever. But, let's say you're at GameStop or Walmart or wherever. You bought a Series X, day one, you can just have Game Pass. You have access to over 100 games. And that doesn't matter if you buy it this holiday, the day it comes out, or if you buy a year from now or 2 years from now. Whenever you buy an Xbox, you're going to have access to all the first-party exclusives, all these brand new games for $15. And, all the consoles are going to come with like a free code, whether it's like a 1 month free code or like 14 days free code. You're going to have access to all these games.
Right.
All those games you're going to have access to for free. Like, all you need is the console. Like, there's no other platform right now. Like, sure, PC, there's a lot of free games you can get. But you can't do that with the Switch. You can't do that with the PlayStation, where all you need is just buy the console, and then boom, you have access to all these great games. Like, there's a lot of great stuff on Game Pass right now. There's Red Dead 2, there's Division, there's Master Chief Collection, there's Halo 5, Gears of War, State of Decay. There's a lot of stuff on there. Mm-hmm. Destiny 2 is on there. There's a lot of good stuff, a lot of variety, a lot of smaller indie games. And it's crazy. It's literally, truly one of the best things in gaming right now. And you're right, not a lot of people are talking about it. Like, I feel like the real gamers, like the journalists are talking about it. But like the people that play games are like, oh, who cares? But like when the people I know in real life, when they get Game Pass and they actually figure out what it is, they're like, yo, this is amazing. Like, I had a coworker who didn't have it. I talked them into it. Like, yo, it's $1 for a month. Literally $1. Just try it out, bro. Like, if you don't like it, cancel it. He got it, and he's like, it's amazing. He downloaded 4 games right away, and they're on his console, nonstop talking about it. He tells other people. It really is amazing. It's a Netflix of games, guys. Can I stress that out? Netflix of games?
Okay.
All right, guys, so now that we've covered everything with the event, we do need to move forward with everything else that's been going on. So, of course, there's been a lot of leaks with the Microsoft and the Xbox stuff, and you know how Bios feels about leaks. He doesn't really think they're a real deal, which I want to see his response to this. But if you guys haven't heard, there's an Xbox controller, a white version of the new gen controller, and you know it's a new controller because it has an extra button that the regular Xbox One controllers don't have. And on the side of the box, it says that it's compatible with Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and S, which kind of confirm that the Series S is coming up. If you don't know what the Series S is, it's supposed to be the cheaper version of the Xbox Series X. Allegedly, people are saying it's going to be like $250. That's crazy. It might be the size of a GameCube. Can you imagine that, bringing that back? And it's supposed to be white, and it's supposed to have like all the same specs, but maybe not the same SSDs or whatever. It's supposed to be just as powerful as the One X, or maybe a little bit less powerful, but it's supposed to be next-gen games on a cheaper format. And it says it's coming out. And it also, which people aren't talking about, but it also says kind of tips the hand of the release date of the Xbox Series X and S. So on the box, it said that there's, all these devices always come with insurance. And on the box, it said you get insurance up to a year. So the insurance would be expiring November 5th of 2021. So if that's the case, people are saying, if it's going to expire a year, or right less than a year, that the Series X and S would come out November 6th, which is a Friday. My speculation was the 7th for 11/7, 117 as in Master Chief, but a lot of controversy with Master Chief now, so it's not coming out. So the speculation is now the console's coming out November 6th. So that Series S controller, or just a white controller, really put a lot out there about when the Xbox is coming out, that there even is a second Xbox, and how it got out. That's crazy. That's a lot of information. I don't know how they got it. The person who has the photos and released it said they bought it on the app OfferUp. I guess they were just trying to buy a regular Xbox controller, but they got that instead. It's kind of crazy. But Bios, what do you think? You're the master of leaks are not real. What do you think about this leak and all the stuff that came out with it?
Wait, say it again. How did he get his hands on it?
He said he bought it. I could be wrong, but I know it's through OfferUp, the app, where you can sell. It's kind of like eBay. I don't know. I think I'm assuming he was looking for a regular Xbox controller, like a white Xbox controller, and he just got that one instead. I know something was OfferUp, but I don't know what he was looking for. I don't know if he was just on OfferUp and he happened to see next gen console controller and bought it, or if he was trying to get something else and got it. But either way, his story is he got it through OfferUp.
So, okay, interesting. So I don't think this is legit, because OfferUp, how do you mess up that badly? If it was something like, let's say, even in this scenario, I wouldn't really believe it. Some guy at GameStop or Best Buy or Walmart or something, they got an early shipment or whatever, and he decided to take one home and blah blah blah. You know, something stupid. Like, but online offer, no. I think Xbox probably allowed this to happen to get it out there, to let the community know when their console is coming, because everybody, you know, is bending over backwards.
You're crazy.
No.
You're literally crazy.
No. Listen.
You're crazy if you think that they actually did that.
Yes.
Why would you rather have that come out of a controller instead of having this big old event saying November 6th, this is the day? That's ridiculous.
Because they're too busy fighting with PlayStation over the pricing.
No, not like that. They're not fighting with PlayStation like that.
They are.
No. It's not that kind of fight. It is not that kind of fight. And also, Microsoft has already said they don't care about PlayStation. Their real competitors is Google with Stadia.
Listen. Okay, yeah, sure. But the thing is, people are not going to get into the streaming service without the Xbox first. Come on. No. This is not potato tomato. This is.
It is, but a lot of people are already on Game Pass that only have a PC. What are you talking about? And if people
yeah, there's a lot of people, but there's still a lot more people that they have to reach.
Sure, but they don't. Those people. The point of xCloud is that it comes to your tablets and your phone. They're not saying buy an Xbox so you know how good Game Pass is, and then play it on your phone. It's like, so xCloud is supposed to circumvent that entirely. So that argument of that they need people to buy the console for Game Pass is ridiculous.
I'm not saying for Game Pass, but that is what most people's entry point is going to be.
Sure, potentially, but that'll be true at the start, but that's not what they're trying to end up. Game Pass should be able to stand on its own. Or I'm sorry, xCloud should be able to stand on its own.
xCloud is not going to stand on its own just yet. It's not going to be. No, it's exactly. It has to have its entry point, which is the Xbox.
But I mean, okay, look at this. Like the Samsung Note 20 was just announced, and right on smack in the middle of the event, you can play Game Pass on this thing, with all these Xbox commercials.
They're revving it up. They're revving. Sure. But the thing is, they know.
They're saying buy an Xbox and then buy a Note 20.
No, of course not. Of course not.
They're trying to hype up Game Pass and xCloud as its own thing.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
Right, they are, but the thing is, they're not going to get as far as they would like to without actually getting the Xbox in people's hands or getting the Xbox out there.
I disagree.
They are, because if it wasn't like that, then they would have hit the design of the Xbox way sooner. They would not have released it the way they released it.
Bro, you're literally crossing streams.
I'm not crushing nothing. This is how the game is played. But anyway, you asked me what I think, and I'm telling you right now.
Do you actually think they're like, we're tired of fighting with Sony, so let's put it on a controller and post it on YouTube? Not YouTube, on Twitter or whatever, Reddit? That sounds so ridiculous, bro.
Hey, let me tell you, that's more believable than having someone, aka, let me just be a janitor and walk into this office and take pictures of the.
That's not true, bro.
Okay. You mean to tell me you're gonna let this janitor with
janitors have phones and they know.
Of course they have phones, but there should also be rules. Like you can't go to this area and this area without your phone.
Some people break rules,
and that person should have been fired.
And maybe they were. We don't know.
I doubt it. I highly doubt it because leaks. Okay, listen.
If they were fired, the truth would come out about. Obviously it was true.
Okay, so tell me this. Okay, you listening? No, you're listening. Okay, no. Okay, listen to this. Are you listening? Good. Okay, pay attention. Open your ears. Okay, listen to me.
Okay.
Let's talk about Cyberpunk for a second.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about Cyberpunk for a second. Okay, so they had their game open and playable to a lot of people when they were doing their tour to have people play the game so they can get feedback and such. When the game, aka gameplay, got leaked, when people were taking out their phones and they went out of their way to scour the internet and removed every single leaked gameplay that was ever posted.
And those photos were taken down.
What photos?
The photos from the janitors, but every time they took it down, it came back up. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. It was back and forth.
Lies.
Oh, you see how it's just lies?
Taken down where? Taken down where?
Bro, on the internet. Every time it was posted up, people were taking it down.
And what about this Xbox controller?
It hasn't been taken down. I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't kept up with it. That's it.
If they did not want it leaked, it wouldn't have been leaked, and that's on period.
Bro, okay. Side tangent, real quick before we finish this little segment. I didn't know about this. I found this out watching IGN. But apparently, before the Xbox One was released, it was also leaked. Apparently, the manufacturer, like where they're like shipping and processing, building the actual console itself. Apparently, this happened, back in 2012. Someone got a copy of the Xbox One for 3 months before, because they ordered a 360, and in the 360 box was an actual Xbox One. Granted, the design of the console was already announced. This is post E3, so everybody knew what it looked like, whatever.
Wait,
but
what?
This is a real thing.
He ordered a 360 and got a 1?
He got a 1, yes. This is a real thing that happened. I didn't know about this, but Ryan McCaffrey told the story, IGN, on one of his videos. But he specifically said this happened. So it's not impossible for leaks to have happened like this.
No. I'm not saying it's like completely.
You're saying no. If they wanted to happen, it wouldn't happen. It happened. You think they wanted to
I'm just saying the way it worked, the way it just happened.
Again, I don't know the full story. I just know it's something to do with OfferUp.
Interesting.
Again, that person could be for all we know, it could be a Microsoft employee who stole one thing and took it home. And they say they got it through OfferUp. Or if someone took it home and they give it to their cousin or their neighbor and say this and that, that's just a story that's being told. Again, I think it's more of a chance for it to be stolen or whatever, rather than the OfferUp. But I don't believe that's Microsoft itself putting it out there. I would rather believe someone took it than Microsoft saying, let's put out the controller out so everybody can see the controller that we already announced, and then we can reveal the date, which we still haven't told to the public because we want to make it a big old thing. So yes, I'm sure it's a leak in a situation where it got out in a way Microsoft would not want it to get out, right? But I don't think it was Microsoft saying, here, take this and post it online for us so we can tell the world without telling the world.
I think it is.
You sound like, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted.
Hey, if your theories are plausible, so are mine.
No.
Yes.
Only one are right. Only one is right. So the second major leak that happened, it's not as big, but I guess a toy company, puts these plans. Let me tell you how development works. You make plans for stuff, even if it might not come out 2 years from now. Like when you're making a movie, like an Avengers movie, you have companies like Hasbro and Lego. You tell them the schematics of the story, what type of toys you want to be made years in advance so they can start making the toys. And usually for all those big Marvel movies, the Lego toys come out not released, but they show off what the toys look like a good 3 months before the movie comes out. So you can see, what type of character might have this vehicle. People put pieces together, right? So a toy company have put out some sort of information about Halo and the multiplayer. It was very vague of what they said, but it was enough for people to kind of put the piece together. So 343 had to come out on a Twitter post on Twitter. They didn't get to do it on a big stage. They had to say, hey guys, Halo multiplayer is going to be free and it's going to be running at 120 frames per second on the Series X. I'm sure they would love to have said that on the stage, but because of whatever thing that came out, it came out. An official company said something about the multiplayer. People were picking up on it. So before it blew up, 343 talked about it. That's a leak. That is a leak. Sure, it wasn't from some guy who was a phone, but that is a leak. It came out before they wanted to come out.
Okay.
Or do you say that does not count?
I give it a pass.
Give it a pass. All right, guys. Thank you all. You can see a little insight of how unbiased and I go back and forth.
Let us know down in the comments or whatever you guys are listening or watching which theory you guys think is actually happening or plausible. Alrighty, moving on forward. So everything hasn't been perfect for Microsoft in their announcements leading up to the Xbox Series X. there was a huge backlash after the gameplay reveal of Halo Infinite. And Super Kami and I really think that the backlash is kind of unwarranted, but we're going to talk about that right now. So I kind of called it, because I said they are going with the classic Halo look for this. They're trying to give it a new coat of paint, a shiny paint without really changing the formula much. I was like, did I say that? I'm pretty sure I said, like, I don't think people are going to accept this.
I don't know if you said that. I do remember you saying the whole...
it's classic?
It's classic. I mean, I don't think people would not accept it. Like, it's classic doesn't mean bad.
It doesn't. But for people, for like, especially with all this talk about next gen and graphics and
console,
right? They really want to be wowed, and one of the biggest games, especially on Microsoft's franchise, to really do that would be Halo. And like, especially when they showed other games, like for example, Senua's Wrath, at full quote unquote in-game, running an in-game engine, yada yada, and then you have Halo. I see it, but of course we thought that it was because people were watching it on the stream. Obviously the stream doesn't have good quality, and we went back to watch it later at 4K 60. The game looked fine. Like, it looked perfectly fine.
It looked great.
Right.
It looked 4K. It looked great.
Yeah. Yes, there were a little bit of pop in, yada yada, but I didn't even notice that until like the second or third time of me watching it. And then we have everybody literally, listen, if you have people taking a pause of that enemy flying across the screen, if you have to sit down and pixel peep or frame by frame peek to make a point that a game looks bad, I think that's an issue right there.
Yeah. That's the entitlement of the gamers.
I'll agree. I'll agree saying, I'll say this, like, maybe the game doesn't look as good as it could have been. I'll agree with that, but it did not look bad. I would say also maybe some abilities and some guns weren't that, like, you know, amazing, sure. But going off and saying that this game looks like a what was it, Xbox 360 game?
Yeah.
Come on. Let's be real. Let's get a grip. But it seems that Microsoft also agrees since they delayed it. But what are your thoughts?
Okay, so I thought, you know, when I watched the gameplay, it looked like another Halo game. It looked like another good Halo game. We saw the smoothness of the Warthog. We saw a bunch of new guns. We saw 5 new guns. We saw him using a zipline. We saw new abilities. We saw Halo. You know, we saw that little cutscene at the end of the enemy type talking. It was Halo. To me, it looked like Halo. We saw like there's this open world element to it. I didn't have a problem with it. And of course, I watched it afterwards at 4K 60. It was great. BIOS came to my house. Not only did we watch it together, we went into Halo 5 afterward, and we said Halo 5 currently is 4K 60, and it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It looks great, you know? But I have the One X. So I really don't get what people were hating on it. And again, like, not every game needs to be the most realistic, like, Hellblade looking game.
Right.
Not every game needs to be that. Games can have a stylized look. Look at Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing blew up early in the year in March. It blew up all over the internet.
It's a kiddie game.
It's a kid. Exactly. The kiddie game is like little cartoons. Look at Overwatch. Overwatch is literally like so famous for like these Pixar-looking characters. And I don't know. Not every game needs to be Last of Us 2. Every game needs to be Ghost of Tsushima or something. Not every game needs to be that. Some games can have their stylized look. But I guess because it's supposed to be the biggest, first party from Microsoft and Xbox, like, it needs to be this life-changing, breathtaking thing. I mean, I just don't believe in that. The Switch released was their first party game of Breath of the Wild, and that game is literally like a animated cartoon. You're watching like a 3D animated cartoon. But no one's complaining about the graphics of the Switch. Granted, we know the Switch is a 4K console, but still, the point is they weren't going for a realistic setting. Right? I really do think the backlash was unwarranted. Like, it was just so much. It was so much, guys. Like, but when I kept seeing that screenshot of that head, of the alien. I'm like, when was that even happening?
Right.
When did that even happen?
Like we literally sat there. We were just like, when was that? Like we had to go back and like actually find it. We were like, oh wow! Out of all screenshots.
Yeah, like they're paused when the guy zoomed in. I'm like, it's an alien. It's an alien. Like, who cares what it looks like? I guess because it's not like you can't see its sweat. You're upset because it's not 2K20. It's not 2K21 where you see its sweat. You're mad. Like,
okay, now don't get us twisted. Now we're not saying the game should look bad. We're just saying that what they've done was perfectly fine, and it looked like it's perfectly good for next gen. You know?
Exactly, especially like with the pop-in, like that can be fixed very easily. Maybe just whatever rig they're running on, like, and there's still like another like 4 months to the release. They had time to fix it up. Like I wasn't expecting sweeping changes, but like the stuff like the pop-in, as long as the game is smooth and running fast, who cares if it's a good story? You know, like I know a lot of people don't worry about graphics. Some people prefer frame rates over graphics.
Right.
You know, I'm more like that. Like I just think it was kind of crazy for all of this back and forth of the Halo Infinite.
Everyone's expectations are a little bit too high. Like that's not a bad thing, but also you also need to learn when to temper your expectations and evaluate what you see when it comes to these games and like really look at them objectively, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be pulling like, oh, mine is like this, like doing the whole console war thing, but the only real game we've seen run on the PS5 like that's actually coming out. Not talking about that the Unreal 5 test is Ratchet and Clank. That's the only game, and people are complaining that Ratchet and Clank doesn't look like a real cat or whatever he is, or
right,
rat or whatever he is.
Like,
no one's complaining about that. It's a stylized game. It's a cartoon character.
Yeah.
No one's complaining about that.
And the Ratchet and Clank game doesn't look that much different from the one that came out on PS4. Like,
thank you. Period.
They don't look that much different. They really don't.
Like, exactly. The thing that's more different than the PS5 new Ratchet and Clank game is the whole behind the scenes of like how you could pop into new worlds non-stop without the loading. Like all that is great. You know, the haptic feedback, that was great. But like people aren't complaining about the graphics. And like people want to talk about Spider-Man PS5. Every single shot of Spider-Man PS5, the Miles Morales, has been from a cutscene.
Right.
There hasn't been a single shot of gameplay. Not a single shot of the actual game running coming out. And not that I don't think it won't be great. I'm sure it will look great, but I don't know why people are complaining about the Halo Infinite. And I guess it became too much from 343 and Microsoft. They're like, we gotta. It took balls. It took balls for them to do what they were gonna do.
Right.
And just stop being around the bush. They pushed back Halo Infinite, released it to 2021. Who knows? It could be March of 2021. It could be May, or it might be November next holiday. They don't have any real window to hit now. Right, it's crazy. Yeah. They pushed back the game, and I think that pushback was specifically because of the backlash. If that backlash did not happen, the game would have definitely come out day and date with the Series X, which would have been amazing, guys. Like, look what you guys did. Not that people got thrown the quote of by Miyamoto, which I support. Like,
no, this is different.
Forever bad, and a delayed game is potentially good, but this is different. The game was fine. It was completely fine. It wasn't Cyberpunk, or it wasn't Anthem. Like, this is different. Like, the game, they're just polishing it. And you guys literally got to push back for what? For what?
Use your brain. Use your brain up here. Not your eyes. Use your brain, okay? Everyone is just talking like all the YouTubers are like, oh, now because like this is Microsoft delayed it, then it's true that the game wasn't ready. Shut up.
Yeah, shut up. Literally shut up. They delayed it, but now I'm interested to see what they can do. Let's say they take one full more. It's not going to 2022, but let's say it comes out November 2021. I want to know how drastically different. Will it look like the Last of Us type of gameplay they're looking for? And on top of that, would it still come to the Xbox One? Because now that they're updating it so much for the Series X and PC, would it still come to Xbox One?
That's a good question. I don't
think how we do know that ray tracing is one of the biggest advantages of the new consoles right now. That's one of the biggest new things. And Halo Infinite was not going to come out with ray tracing. They were going to update it later, but now it can come out launched with ray tracing, right? now I'm interested to see how drastic of a difference would the game look like on a Series X, a PC, and on the base Xbox One.
I don't think so.
I'm very, very shocked. I'm shocked and both like impressed that Microsoft was like, yeah, let's do this, let's push it back. But shocked that they wanted to do it, they did it. It's like, guys, like, stick to your guns. You've been talking about this game for like 2 years now. You've been saying day and date Halo. And Bios and I, long before the PS5 reveal, talked about, what would be their biggest thing to compete with Halo? Because Halo's a big game. Halo is a console seller. And Spider-Man is great, but it's not a full game, it's an expansion. We don't know how long it is yet. Like, I'm sure it's great. I'm sure you'd want to see Spider-Man PS5 fully upgraded for the PS5. It's just different. It's just where is Microsoft now? And the console, where are they?
In my opinion, they are losing. Only because of this, because their biggest things that they needed to really push the bar, unless they can rectify it or something, but the biggest thing that they needed to really grab people's attention, people either complained or completely missed it. And that would be for Xbox Game Pass / xCloud and Halo. Because despite everything, the only thing that Xbox has is that people know that it's a more powerful console, but they don't see the results of that powerful console. While PlayStation literally did one thing, and everybody's like, they're waiting in their seats. They're waiting. They're like, oh yeah, Sony, they got it. Look at that.
They've literally done one thing. Literally
one thing, which was the Xbox, which was the PlayStation 5 reveal, which was a good reveal. I'm not gonna lie.
It was like 2 months ago now.
2 months ago. Yeah, haven't said a word. And then the last thing they did was State of Play, and State of Play was forgettable, literally forgettable.
Yeah,
literally.
There's a lot of PS4 games and
right.
Ridiculous. And it's just, Xbox has been talking to the community since November.
Right. So they're losing, and it's a sad way of losing, and it's the community's fault that people are not looking at all the benefits and the things that they could be benefiting from and cheering for to change the gaming industry and its market. That's what people start paying attention for. That's basically what our whole freaking podcast is about. Get your game sense up, guys. Pay attention. Period. Open your pens. Listen. Open them. What are you doing?
Let me ask you this. So you say that, but let's say they say the Series X is $400. How would that change? Because there's no way a PS5 is $400. No way. If the Series X is $400, it's $100 cheaper than the PS5.
I cannot.
How would it change?
Okay, if it was the X, if the X was $400?
Yeah, so the Series X is $400 and the PS5 is $500. How would that change the market? Because, there's still going to be a lot of third-party games to come out, like Watch Dogs, like Assassin's Creed, like Cyberpunk, Allegedly. Cyberpunk might not, I don't want to trigger BIOS right now, guys, but allegedly Cyberpunk is coming out this holiday.
It is?
Allegedly. As of right now. But yeah, so let's say the console's $400. Technically, it is a more powerful console. It's $100 cheaper. And you have Game Pass. If, let's say the salesman at GameStop or Best Buy tells you, hey, PS5 is great, but you can play 100 games with this Xbox today. They really sell it. Like, let's say someone's like, I want to get Cyberpunk 2077 on the next gen, but I don't know which console I can get, but I only have enough money for one game, just Cyberpunk. So, get Cyberpunk and then get Game Pass. So, okay, so yeah, if the console's $100 cheaper, how would that change the race or the market, as you said?
I really don't know. Because...
Would the Sony fans be like, I don't care the price, just give it to me? or is it just feel like
I think the Sony fans would say that they don't care about the price.
Yeah, okay, the Sony fans, yes, but like the average
person,
yeah.
My God, it really depends on what you mean by average. Like someone who's never gamed before, or this is their first console.
Either the first console or someone who just plays like I don't know, just someone who's buying something for their, like, they want to surprise their 11-year-old son, right? They walk into a store, they don't know about games, like a mom and dad.
Oh, okay.
You know, they're like, oh, what should I get? They're going to see a console, it's $400 cheaper, and if the salesman tells them, what's this, you get over 100 games, but there's a code in the box.
Okay, so there's like a lot of layers here. Like, they would have to be like, okay, what game, like, what does your kids' friends play, stuff like that. Yeah, but if we strip that away and just like they're getting it for their kid, first time console, or I'm getting into it first time, yada yada, the Xbox Series X is a very compelling buy. Very compelling.
It's more powerful.
It is more console, and then you're also saving more money when it comes to games who are going into a subscription. Now, at the same time, subscriptions are also not very appealing to a lot of their adults when they're getting stuff for their kids.
Sure, but you know,
you can throw that at them.
The box is going to come with a code. There's no way in hell it won't come with a code, whether it's 14 days or for 4 months. There's going to be a box.
Yeah.
Like, they could say, you know, you could buy this 3 months or this 1 year, but they still have the packages. It's the same thing as gold. But sure, you want to say people aren't good about subscriptions. I could kind of debate because kids have Xbox Gold, and you know, you play with kids. They have PlayStation Plus. So the cost is $100 cheaper. How does that change the rates? Do you think it'll really? Because you know, the PS2 and 360 days, Xbox is no lead, right? They had the market share. PlayStation caught up towards the end. The next gen on PS4, Xbox One, PlayStation had the market. You know, what's gonna happen with the Series X and the PS5? We don't talk. I didn't bring up the original Xbox and PS2 because the PS2 was already an established console and Xbox was brand new. So I don't think there was really even a competition. So I don't think people would have paid attention to it yet. But the 360, everybody knew that, oh, this is a real console. Actually keeping up with this wasn't just like a failed thing. But yeah, how does it change?
For the prices, there's like so many, like,
you know, like, it's not like a kid's asking, Mom, buy me a PS5. It's like they're gonna surprise them their first console. You know, and not even just the mom and dad, but like just any, like, your average person. Like, let's say it's
yeah, I get what you're saying. It's just like I'm just not too sure if the average person really is like a dominating factor.
It is big. Oh no, 100% is, bro. You think all 100 million users or all 100 million copies sold the PS4 or diehard Sony fans?
No, I know, but I know, but like, I'm talking about when it comes to the person that, like, let's say, like, has, like, not no friends, but nobody that games, you know, to like influence their buying decision. Like that person, that person is, I think that person's very rare.
No, I don't. I disagree.
No, because like
not everyone has gamer friends. Not everybody's like that. There's always people new to the community. My sister, if she wanted to get into gaming, sure, she has me, but none of her friends play games. At least none of her girlfriends. Like, I don't want to say female because, you know, females like looked down upon, but you know, like all her women friends, they don't play games. None of them. Maybe some of the guys might have a PlayStation, and if my sister wants to get into games,
but if she were to get a game, she would most likely get an Xbox because, one, you have it, and she wants to play with.
Yeah, but when I talk, take me out of the picture. Take me out of the picture.
Well,
if she just wanted her to put, my sister's very into a lot of different stuff than I am. You know, she doesn't know comic book movies. She doesn't know TV shows.
No, sure, but this is gaming. So, like, why would she not play with you?
Imagine I'm not in the picture. I'm not her. She's not my sister. She's just a random girl.
Well,
My sister's a random person.
No, yeah, sure. But I'm saying,
and
like,
her female friends don't play games. And if she wanted a console,
I just don't. I'm just saying that person is very rare. Like maybe like if someone was like, I don't know. I can't really say it. Never mind. But yeah.
But, okay, so before I even say my thoughts, you just don't see a way Xbox would come out on top?
I think they could, but like when I just started
you're saying the price is not a good enough reason. So if the price and Game Pass are not good enough reason for Xbox to get on top, what would it take? Sure, there's a game. But
it would just take people's the way that people look at PlayStation and Xbox and the gaming community as a whole. Like they would have to look at it differently, because with the whole Xbox.
Okay, yes, but would the price and Game Pass not do that?
I think it should.
I get what you're saying.
Like in theory, it should.
It's a more powerful console. It's $100 cheaper. Game Pass gives you access to hundreds of games.
Yeah. Like in theory, it should, but
in theory, that's what happened to PlayStation. Their thing was $100 cheaper. It was a more powerful console, and they didn't have any big first party exclusives when it first came out. But that's what happened. Even though the 360 was a bigger console, the console was $100 cheaper because the original Xbox One had the Kinect, a bundle with it. But
no, the PS4 was weaker.
No, bro, don't even try it, guys.
No, it was weaker.
Please flame BIOS in the comments. No, it wasn't. The PS5, the PS4 was stronger than the base Xbox One. Don't even try it. Look at him. He's gone to go search it up because he doesn't believe me.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're right.
Of course I'm right.
It was stronger. It was stronger only in terms of, you could listen to the recording and play it as much as you want. I'm not saying it again.
There it is, boys and girls. Got to say okay.
When it came to the original consoles before it came out, in terms of raw power, those were close to gap considerably with the Xbox One X. Okay.
Yes, it was. The PS was stronger in every way. There were so many videos about it, bro. But yes, the PS was stronger, and it was $100 cheaper. There was no big series exclusives when it first came out. It had Knack, it had some shooting game, it had Killzone. Those were not killer first party games, right? And neither did Xbox. I'm not saying Xbox had they had Rise of the Roman game, Shadow Thief. They had a couple things.
Yeah.
But neither one of them had big first party games like Spider-Man or Halo when they first came out. But it was $100 cheaper, and it was a powerful console. And that's exactly what I'm saying for the Xbox. How could that not change? And Xbox 360 was more popular. And, PlayStation had the free... It went from a free online service to paid with the PS4. So it had that big thing, that big pill everyone had to swallow. So you don't think there's a position for Xbox to be like, I'm not saying, they're going to have the free live.
No,
I think they should have free online for free-to-play games like Fortnite and Apex. Like, that should be free. You shouldn't need gold for that. But, that's a different conversation.
I think if something to really solidify it, to really hold that attention and to not have any backlash, I guess, would be to put online to be free again. Like, you don't have to pay for online.
I don't see that happening.
I know we don't see that happening, but that would be huge. Yeah,
it would be huge. I think if they did it for free games, as we mentioned earlier, Halo Infinite multiplayer is going to be free to play. So you don't need to buy Halo Infinite. So if you could play Halo Infinite multiplayer for free, if you could play Fortnite, Apex, Call of Duty Warzone, Hyperscape, and a bunch of more like DC Universe, Neverwinter. I think Black Desert has a free model, I think. So if you could play games like that for free, but they're free to play, I think that'll be good enough reason. It's not everything. It's not all free games, but but they make like $1 billion a year, if not more, on gold. There's no way they're gonna give it up.
No.
That's free money.
No, I'm saying like if Xbox did it.
Yeah, I know, but there's no way they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like who? No, I would think that'd be crazy. Who would do that? You know, it's crazy, but like
no.
Charge, but
yeah. But I'm just saying, like, because like the one thing that they had going for them, I mean, not the one thing, but I think a pretty big thing is freaking Game Pass, and like nobody saw it. It's kind of like, hello.
Again, you're right, but as I say, you know, the more people that do find out about it, the more people love it. It's just people actually need to find out about Game Pass.
But that's people that like find out about it and actually get into it, you know?
Yeah, you're right. But like once they get into it, they realize how good it is. But
okay,
maybe that barrier.
Maybe if they can like it's going into open beta when?
I think September 15th.
Maybe through there, if that can hit a home run, it'll maybe generate a good some attention down the line.
Maybe.
So maybe that, because I really think like Xbox is very, very compelling. Luckily, I am fortunate to have everything now, so I see it, and I like and also when it comes to general, like console wars are like just, it's so stupid. Like we should not be fighting over the consoles. We should be fighting over the services and features, and demanding that if this one's doing it, you guys need to do it too, because that's where I'm going. That's how it's
cross-play. I want cross-play everywhere. Cross-saving. You know, let me have cross-save. Let me have cross-play. Cross-buy. All of that.
Right. Like Xbox is doing a lot. Like they're trying to put a lot of more attention into the games, into their services, into all that stuff. To like, they're doing a lot of consumer-friendly stuff. Yada yada yada. We know the story. So, give it a look. You'll be surprised.
So just before we wrap this up, I want to give my 2 cents real quick. As much as I was going back and forth with you, Bios, I actually do kind of agree. I do think PlayStation is winning, per se. Like, it's hard to topple the king, you know? It's gonna, like, it'll take a while. I don't think PlayStation would beat, let's say the Series X does come out $100 cheaper. I don't think that would itself be the reason why it would beat out PlayStation. But let's say in 2 years, you see more and more sales of the Xbox. Like day one sales, if they were to come out the same day or like even a week apart, PlayStation will have more sales, even if it's $500. I would agree. But in 2 years, I think the mindset of Xbox would change a lot. Because if Sony didn't outright just beat Microsoft right away, I mean, sure, they did have the whole $100 cheaper and more powerful console. Remember that marketing of, this is how you share games.
Yeah.
You know, they were playing with it, you know? So the community was able to grasp it, but they didn't just sell 100 million copies in a month, you know, of the PS4. It took like, 4 years, which is still a good amount of time. The point is, I think day one, PlayStation could win, but if Microsoft does a great job with Avowed, State of Decay, Fabled, Halo, whatever other exclusive games they want to have, and, you know, they're coming to Game Pass, it's $100 cheaper. In like 2 years, I think the tides could definitely be different. You know, it is a more powerful console. You know, it could definitely be different. And I'm sure, of course, if PlayStation's like, well, it's hard to change the price after you announce it, but also there'll eventually be a PS5 Pro, you know, or PS5 Ultra, and a PS5 Slim, and we'll see how far they go there with the graphics. But at the same time, this will be the Xbox Series X Ultra, you know. But I don't know. I agree. Day one, PS5 and Sony will win. But a year or two, if the console's cheaper, if the games are really actually good, up to par, you know, they're not like, you know, like let's say Sea of Thieves 2 comes out, they're not like janky games with a good idea and then they update it later. If they come out great, the way they're supposed to be, and of course, if Xbox gets the marketing, you know, like Cyberpunk is coming to all platforms, but they're being marketed with Xbox. If they get more games like Cyberpunk and Assassin's Creed, that's also being marketed with Xbox. If they get the bigger games like Star Wars, the next Star Wars game, or the next FIFA, if they get the sports game, or if they got Call of Duty again. Call of Duty was big on the 360, and then they went to PlayStation for the PS4. If they got like big deals like that again, marketing deals.
Yeah,
definitely. I think in 2 years, the tide could definitely change. Sony's doing so many things where it's not consumer friendly. Like, I get they want to push the new hardware and new software, but when you look at the other side, it's like, I can do whatever I want on Xbox. I can play cross-play. I can cross-save to go to my PC and Xbox back and forth. I can play on my phone when I want. I can do this. I can do that. I can use all the same devices. I don't have to buy a new controller. You know, people buy multiple controllers or like. So I think day one, Sony, yes. A year or two from now, could be completely different. Completely different.
So right now it's just the battle, but we have to see who wins the war.
Yeah. And that's what life is about. Console war, guys.
Oh my god. Oh man. Alrighty guys, that was this episode of Get Your Game Sense Up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to listen to us on...
Guys, we are on all platforms available. We are on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And of course, Bias's YouTube channel.
And don't forget to leave feedback or comments. We always would love to hear from you guys. Let us know your thoughts. And we'll see you guys in the next one. And guys, always remember...
Get your game sense up.
To each other's arms.